Ren did it! Yay! Sick Boy's back. That's so cool. It's kind of upsetting that it took someone of Ren's size as far as followers go to have to go to YouTube Music itself to get a false claim taken down. That's a little ridiculous in my opinion, but still happy that it happened. I doubt that, I don't know if maybe he's going to take down the video himself later or something to upload it with the new beat, because I'm sure the beat thing is still going on, the whatever it is, the claims with all that jazz are still happening. But it's just great that the strike got taken off of his channel. That's awesome. And because it's back up, when it went down, I was a little sad because I figured, you know, that I'd never be able to hear it again. And I did mention on my Cujo beatdown reaction that I didn't love the beat of this. Well, I think it serves its purpose of making someone maybe who doesn't have anxiety or doesn't have the sort of mental fog sometimes kind of feel like they do, because it's very overwhelming and very abrasive. As someone with a pretty bad anxiety disorder, it mostly just kind of made me feel bad. So I watched it and listened to it once, pretty early in my Ren listening life. So, oh gosh, almost a month ago. It's almost Ren and mine's 1 month anniversary. So I never really listened to it again. And I was kind of bummed when it got taken down, because I thought like, oh, I'll never get a chance to now. So now that it's back, I want to give it another shot. I'm feeling good today. I'm fine. I'm medicated and all that jazz. So I just wanted to watch it and be able to really pay attention and focus on the video this time, as opposed to just being like, I now know what to expect. I'll be fine. I don't know why I react to it so bad. I just kind of do. But I'm feeling good today, so I think I'll be okay. And I figured I'd record it because, you know, I'm having fun with these little reactions, and I wanted to celebrate the fact that it's back, because that's really, really amazing. So yeah, let's do this. As always, Ren picks the most glamorous of locations. Let's all appreciate this. Look at that. 5 stars. All right, let's go.
Hi Ren, thank you for coming in today.
Interesting. I remember, because I know I mentioned that the compared the grunts in this to the grunting in Cujo Beatdown, which were clearly a reference to this, but I forgot what they really sounded like. I remember they sounded desperate, but I forgot how much, at least the ones maybe before this shot, when it was him with the far shot of him in the room, which is so well framed of making him look so small in that frame, he sounds less like he's grunting and more like he's having a panic attack, honestly, that like he's trying to catch his breath, which just, again, I don't know what someone watching this who's never had anxiety would feel like. I don't know if they would just think he's like putting on a weird acting crazy performance or what, but as someone who's had it, this feels very like, it's bringing back memories. It's like, oh yeah, no, I know that. I know that kind of, I know those noises. I know that breathing. All right.
Hi Ren, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for seeing me.
Looking at your file here, it seems there's a very apparent interplay with your emotional state and your physical body. Have you ever heard of the trauma response?
I don't think so.
Basically, our bodies can get stuck in a negative feedback loop. Our subconscious can repeat patterns from the past, which can have a pretty drastic downstream effect on our biology. Essentially, your mind is making you sick.
Ooh. And those self-soothing gestures, the arm ones, I do those all the time. When I'm really, thankfully with my meds, I don't have anxiety attacks very often anymore. When I do, they're not as bad, but when I would get really bad ones, I would do this all the time. Sometimes, unfortunately, if I was really bad, I'd use my nails. But oof, that's a oof. I also, like, you can really tell that he is someone who has suffered through these things because of things like this, because of the slight rocking, which I think I was maybe doing while I was watching it. I just realized I'm like, no, stop, you're on camera, stop rocking. But again, it's that sort of self-soothing thing that you kind of, it's involuntary. And then her little speech. Look, this thing's gonna be a lot of tangents about, you know, medical stuff and mental health things. Of course it is, and that's why I think this song is great, because it can spur those sorts of discussions. But that whole your mind is making you sick thing, or really just anything of a doctor or we'll say a person in power when it comes to you don't know what's wrong and you're going to them for help. whether it's a therapist, in this case a psychiatrist, because she's talking about medication, the way that they just need to slap a label on you or just kind of do the thing and then move on to the next person, those things they can say, like your mind is making you sick, can destroy a person's sense of reality. It is medical gaslighting. It happened to my sister through seeing I don't know if it was a doctor or like a chiropractor, but when she was in college and she's had a headache for the last 14 years. When her headache first started and she was trying to figure out what was wrong with her and why she was in so much pain, and why she was in pain all over her body. She'd have awful leg pains and stuff. She was like, is there something wrong with my spine? And he looked and saw there was like a fusion in her spine toward the top, I think it is, of like two discs are fused together. Or two vertebrae, I don't remember the details. Anyway, so she's got this fusion in her spine that's not normal. And so he said, oh, have you been in some kind of accident? And she's like, no, I've never been in an accident. And he's like, okay, so here's what happened. When you were young, you were in an accident, you don't remember it, and your parents hid it from you. Or your parents abused you when you were little. So she, of course, loses her mind. She's in a totally different state from the family. She calls my mom, sobbing incoherently, saying, like, was I in an accident and you didn't tell me? And my mom's like, what the fuck are you talking about? She explained what's wrong with her and what the doctor said. My mom's like, I have that too. It's hereditary. Like, again, those things of like, think before you tell someone something. Because he just destroyed my sister's reality for a few minutes, thinking that her life was a lie. When reality, it's just like, yeah, it's hereditary. My mom has it too. It's so frustrating. Doctors need to think before they talk, or chiropractors, which is not doctors. Anyway, back on the subject, but it's hard not to talk about that kind of stuff while watching this video because it just brings out a lot. So I'm sure I'll do more. Apologies. But God, that shot, they did such a good job of like the lighting and everything. The one singular light over here, making it so like there's the light around him, but then the shadow past that. So the room is small, but then also the lit part of it where he is even smaller. So it just makes it more and more condensed. Is really well done.
Sick boy, bitten by a tick boy, looking for that fix boy, anabolic steroids, stem cell, poster boy, pass out, white noise, quick fix, snake oil, I'm about to break boy. Oh, what a shame, he's in pain, have another go, take another pill, here, take a couple more, let's see how you're doing in another week or so, you'll be feeling worse when the
She is so good in this. She doesn't, like, yeah, she's fantastic in this, and I think I heard she's in other random videos, or at least one or two. I don't know. I have not seen her, I don't think. But I think she's just fantastic in this. I don't know if she's a friend of his or just like an actual actress that he hired. But yeah. Good job, lady. The I'm about to break boy part is so great. It's something about Ren that I think of. I've never thought about this when I've watched another musician in videos, which is like, I'm not watching him like he's a musician. I'm watching him like he's an actor, because he does so much with his performance. I'm looking at like what his eyes are doing, what his hands are doing. Like I'm looking at it and reading it like I'm reading an actor in a movie, and like seeing this kind of story play out through his face, which is really cool. I kind of wish more performers were like this. And maybe there are, I just haven't seen them. Mostly I'm just kind of, in a music video, I'm watching for a concept, I'm watching for like the fun visuals, and I'm watching because I'm like, oh, that's what my favorite band looks like. But in this, I've always sucked into his characters. Not that I don't love videos where it's just him playing. Those are also incredibly engaging as well. And they're wonderful. Any busking, the couple busking videos I've seen, I'm obsessed with. But him talking about, first of all, also steroids. Steroids suck. They're the worst. I know he mentioned anabolic steroids, and I've only taken, what are they called? My brain. Corticosteroids? Is that what they're called? I could be making up a word. I think it's corticosteroids. For like injuries and things like that I've had, but they're terrible. My mom and sister have had to take them for long stretches of time. I only had to take it for like a week. And it's awful because they give you like a pack of stuff, and it's, you take a bunch of pills the first day and less and less and less. But it made me think of it because the mention of steroids and then also side effects and back to medical gaslighting. I remember when I took them the first time, after I think like day 2, I suddenly had this horrific reaction, really bad mood changes. I was like sobbing, and I thought everyone hated me. I was like really paranoid. I had like some bad thoughts of doing something to myself. It was really bad. But thankfully the minute that those thoughts started, I was able to kind of separate to a degree and go, this is clearly the medication I'm taking. This is not reality. I need to contact the doctor immediately, as one should do when having a terrible reaction to something. So I immediately called the doctor the next day, and he's like, that's not a side effect of this. So that's just you. And I'm like, I don't think so, man. This doesn't seem like, this doesn't seem normal. I think this might be the medication, because it's kind of started out of nowhere. He's like, no, it's not the medication. That's just you. I then, of course, research it, and that's 100% a possible side effect of that medication. Fully is. He's like, well, it started too quickly. It can start immediately after taking it. So it's that thing of doctors going like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's side effect. I think that's just a you problem. It's like, to the point where the next time, several years later when I had to take it, when I hurt myself at work, I like canceled, I called out of work. I canceled plans with people because I was just like, I'm just going to stay in my room, and then I'll have no outside stimulus to set me off in any way. And I like kind of hid myself away for it. But it's that frustration of having to rely on someone else for answers, and knowing that that person might not be fully listening, or at the end of the day really have your best interests at heart. And my problems are minuscule compared to what Rent has dealt with. It's so frustrating to watch, to watch and see bits of my own story, to see definitely bits of my family's story, and of course to see Ren's story. It's just like, it does make you tense. It makes you feel like you're about to break. I get it.
See how you're doing in another week or so. You'll be feeling worse when the side effects will show. Derealization, medical patient, losing patience with the process, walking hand in hand with Satan. Complications with the medication, inflammation, dehydration, inhalation, aggravation, building up a toleration. Drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown. I've been feeling like I'm drowning with my feet upon the ground. I've been screaming, I've been shouting, but I never make a sound. I've been looking for a way out, but I always seem to drown.
Is this all making sense, Ren?
Yeah, I think so.
That right there, I forgot about this line, but it's such a good line, such a good double, which of course Brent's great at. The losing patience with the process. You're frustrated, so you're losing patience with it because it's frustrating, but also you're losing people with this process. You're losing the patience is such a great line. And the drowning with my feet upon the ground is also a very like that is. I've felt that is a thing. And once more with his performance, it's the getting frustrated, it's the being kind of angry, and then when he sits back down, just looking completely drained, just like empty, just head kind of down, like it just exhausted. Which seems like a very good, he just does a great way of portraying what it probably felt like. I hope that this was, I know he's very proud of this song, so I'm sure it was very therapeutic, but it must be so hard and incredibly brave to like go back to putting yourself in that mental state, whether it's just for a video or not, because it's very clear that he puts everything of himself into his music. And I don't think it's just things like this. I think he puts himself into any song he's singing, regardless of if it's his, if it's a cover, whatever it may be. But yeah, this still must be kind of scary sometimes.
I've been looking for a way out, but I always seem to drown.
Is this all making sense, Ren?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. What I propose we do is we try to pinpoint the exact experiences from the past that are keeping you stuck. What can you tell me about your childhood?
I can't really think.
It's okay if nothing comes up right away. What I'd like you to do is take some deep breaths with me. In and out. In and out. Good. Now tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
I love when they're having him breathe in and out for the first time. When they cut to him, it's kind of blurry because again, this whole thing, we're seeing so much of what's in his mind. That's why the beginning, the noise, the music was kind of overlapping on her dialogue, so you had to kind of pay attention to hear it because of the mental fog. And then with that, sort of disassociating a little bit and getting lost in the breathing, so everything becomes a little blurry, a little out of focus. It was very cool. And then, of course, cutting between her and our friend Mr. Piggy, who, if you're just watching this video and don't know anything, looks like a butcher. But if you are familiar with his stuff, whether it means greed, I still think partially, I think he stands for greed, but I think he also stands a little bit for either Ren's sickness or the obstacles in his life. We'll say for this one, his sickness. It's like you're trying to get help, and you've got this almost robotic like woman, this very Nurse Ratched from Cuckoo's Nest entity, cutting back from between that, the greed of the medical industry, and also his sickness itself sitting across from him, being like, it's all right, I want what's best for you, is so frightening.
In and out. Good. Now tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. We're given everything we need and we commoditize it. We consume, we destroy like we're parasitic. Science tells us that it's suicide and still we commit. I'm not sick, we are sick. We are standing on a cliff in the name of progress. We jump off the precipice. I'm not sick, I'm the virus, you're the virus, hypocrite. How can you sit there with that smile on and tell me that I'm sick? Sick boy, looking for...
Science tells us that a suicide and still we commit is such a good line, sir. Oh, it's such a good line. And that part of the song is really what I think sets... Well, I just think it's such a special thing about Ren. Because this song could just be all about him. And of course, a lot of it is about him. But with the exception of maybe like Troubles, where clearly it's him explaining his story. From songs I've heard anyway, he's talking about his pain. He's also talking about your pain. He's also talking about the world's pain, which makes it a lot more universal, but also just seems to be, from what I've seen of him, seems to be his sort of where his principles lie, and where his just sort of what he's about is like, he has his own issues, but he also seems to often be thinking about other people and the world at large, and is concerned with that stuff. So I love that he kind of makes it about more than himself. And I'm going to just get into her face. And when I say things about the medical industry, I mean, like, I'm not anti-doctor medicine. Yay, medicine. I'm on medicine right now, and it's wonderful, and it's truly changed my life in so many ways. It's frustrating that it's difficult to get sometimes. The amount of time I had to wait for my Adderall is... I went without Adderall for a year because there was a shortage. It's ridiculous. And I am someone who, I certainly benefit from it, but I can somewhat function without it. There are those that can't and just were left without it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, but it's the greedy people. It's the people who don't care about exploiting others in such a... It's when medicine and procedures and things like that become so expensive that it becomes a Hunger Games just to be able to fight for a chance to get help is crazy. I know Ren, I've heard that when he was really sick, he had to do a lot of GoFundMes and stuff like that, which is, it's just so ridiculous.
Cliff in the name of progress, we jump off the precipice. I'm not sick, I'm the virus, you're the virus, hypocrite. How can you sit there with that smile on and tell me that I'm sick? Sick boy, looking for a fix, boy. Push it down in public, quick pose for the pic, boy. Record label meetings that commodify your gift, boy. Why you so upset? Don't you wanna be a rich boy? Fuck no, industry is cutthroat. I've been doing bits by myself, swimming backstroke, walking on a tightrope, rapping with a slit throat. The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke. As the people evolve, we're complacent to assailants and we...
Oh, he looks so scared. Oh, hi. He looks a little crazy. I'm gonna go back. Ah, that's not better. Close up of pig. I wonder if talking about the industry stuff if that was specific to, like, I know he had that Sony deal early in his career or what, I'm not sure. But the whole idea of, the industry being cutthroat, and he's in rapping with the slit throat line and things like that of like, hey, I've been rapping and doing all this by myself through all this crap, and if I can do this, then I don't need any of the other crap. It's like I can do it myself, so fuck you. I also love when his voice just goes up at that one part because it sounds cool. He adds a lot of dynamic stuff to his songs like that, where it's like you kind of get used to what it sounds like, and then he immediately switches it up, which I think is very fun. And you know what? Hey, I joked about the blood being, or I don't know if it was on purpose, that the blood is very light in some of his other videos. Maybe it's a censor thing. Because I'm sure that YouTube is not the nicest when it comes to blood. Actually, I've watched some pretty horrific movies on YouTube. And again, I doubt they're monetized, but whatever. Point being that I thought the blood in Children of the Moon and Animal Float was like comically light. This one still looks like paint, but it looks better. I don't think they're going to master the art of blood, but still, I can't not comment on it. All right.
I've been doing bits by myself, swimming backstroke, walking on a tightrope, rapping with a slit throat. The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke. As the people evolve, we're complacent to assailants and we do what we're told. Counterintelligence, a sight to behold. Rape the earth of all resources and we bleed it for gold. And we bleed it for wealth, we bleed it for fame. But when you bleed it, can you tell me what the fuck will remain? And I bleed in myself, I bleed in my brain. While I'm bleeding, I'm the reason, cause I'm doing the same.
Equating himself to the rest of the bleeding for resources, for whatever it may be, what's going to remain of the world, and then he's doing it to himself. He's bleeding his brain, whether that's for the amount of work he's putting in, or if that's the amount of pain he's going through, or it's just the amount that he's pulling out of himself to make this music. If, you know, saying the lines about what will remain of the earth if we bleed it all, well, what's going to remain of him when he bleeds it all? And again, just like in things like Money Game, knowing that he is a part of the, not that he's a part of the medical system, but if the world has problems, then he is a part of those problems because he exists in the world, which I think is always a nice thing to remember. Nobody's perfect. We're all a part of some kind of something. I liked that. I'm really, really glad I got to go back and watch that and getting to kind of focus better on it. I liked that a lot. I'm really excited to see what he does with his own beat of it. And I liked the choir. I didn't really notice the choir much before. Like, I didn't notice they were a thing, but now, of course, I'm more hyper aware of it because of all the stuff that went on with the sample. But the choir is very pretty. Not worth, you know, stealing a sample for, but still very pretty. This was great. That makes me want to, because there's quite a few of his videos that I only watched once very early on. High Rent I've seen. I saw it, I guess I just saw it once, like maybe a year ago. I've heard the song since, but I think I only saw the video once a year ago. And then the Tales I watched once. And I loved them. And I remember the story of it, but I don't remember a lot else. So I don't know, maybe I'll watch this sometime. I don't know if I'll do a video on them. If someone wants me to, I totally can. Otherwise, in my spare time, I'll just do it. Same with Money Game 3. Next, I'll be doing first Money Game video. And then I know I've gotten some requests to do, what were they? Acoustic, Animal Flow, Crutch. I've gotten quite a few for Crutch. People seem excited for that, which, sure, why not? And then for Big Push, it was, Ren and Sam Tompkins doing Stevie Wonder, which I'm super into. That sounds great. And then I think for Big Push, it was Why Am I a Woman and something with a P. Precious? It was Precious. Anyway, yeah. So I'll do those at some point. If you guys have any other suggestions, by all means put them in the comments. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and again, while I'm not getting many views, I'm getting so many comments, which is really cool, and everyone's comments are so nice. So I don't care if I never get more than 100 views. I'm just loving how many comments I get, and they're really, really sweet. I'm glad people are liking the the reactions. So heck yeah, let's keep doing this because it's fun. All right, thanks guys, bye.